The video is going to be called Is the Divinity in You? The moment you will understand, you will wake up to being chosen, is when you understand, you will understand that you're not like everybody else. There is something just simply different about you. It is your indifference that makes you become a targeted individual. And I'm not talking about indifference because you're wearing Gucci shirts. I'm not talking about you drive a certain type of car. No, 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 no. There's a different level of energy that you possess that makes you become a targeted individual. Now you see those people targeting you. The people targeting you are very wealthy people, because you know when you decide to put money, all that money just to follow up somebody who most likely doesn't even have a driver's license. They don't even drive a car. They don't even own a home, and you are the one out there just paying people money just to follow up somebody, spy on them, do this, tap their phones, and all that kind of BS. It just simply shows you that there is individuals who will stoop too low to the degree where they are going to start moving around and targeting people that are just trying to find themselves, discovering themselves. Because you see, I didn't know this whole thing of being targeted. I didn't understand what targeting was. I didn't even know that I was a targeted individual at the time, back in those years. But I would see the pattern. It was very visible. It was very clear. As I pushed the play button, actually, that particular gang stalker appeared from the out of the blue on the other side of they appeared from somewhere. So targeted individuals, they target you because people is afraid of indifference, scared of indifference. People, they are afraid of the unknown. When a person cannot read you or cannot figure you out spiritually, they are going to choose to target you. They are going to become very obsessed. So you see, that's the thing with the chosen ones. The energy around you can make somebody get very, very obsessed about you, to that degree whereby they're going to start following you around, doing this, tapping your phones, checking your neighborhoods, all those things you can think about, and you'll never understand why. That shows you that you're special. Because if you're not special, what do they want from you? Why would they invest a lot of money just to follow you up? And the guys who are investing all that money, doing all these funny, funny projects, they're doing better than you. That is confirmation for you that you're a chosen one. Okay? Because you see, a chosen one, there is something in you that people cannot put a finger on. And because they can't put a finger on it, they try to follow you around. So they try to find other different ways to find out what it is. And the more they dig, the more confused they get. You see, that's the thing about chosen one. You cannot read those people. The moment you think, oh, now you have them figured out, you're going to realize that you're already back to square one. Because those people, they're operating on a different timeline. A real chosen one is operating on a different timeline. You can best believe, yes, you will be working in the same environment, you will be doing the same thing sometimes, but they're on a different timeline completely. People operate on a timeline that is predictable. They can wake up one day and they will know, okay, that's where I'm going to go, that's the shop I'm going to buy my stuff, these are the people I'm going to meet, this is what I'm going to do. It's easier to predict. The chosen one, they are fluid, you know. A chosen person is fluid. You cannot just think, oh, okay, finally I have them figured out, and that is exactly what is going on. Because you're going to realize how much you do not know. So you see, that's what causes the obsession. Those people that are trying to target you and following you around and whatever, those people, they are obsessed about you. And it is not a nice kind of obsession. You see, sometimes you can get obsessed about a person and you have good intentions. But you see, these people get obsessed with negative intentions. That's how that thing works, chosen ones. You know? Because they see, they feel, they don't see, they feel. There is something different about you. And they're very curious. They want to know what it is. It could be the way you move. It could be something about your eyes. It could be the way you speak. It could be the whatever it is you do. And especially if you're on social media, like for example, if you're doing these things that we're doing, that I'm doing personally. So you're going to get people, they are going to go to the extra length. They are going to create those fake profiles. They are going to come around and spy on you, on your content. On your pages, they want to know. They want to know every last detail, what is happening with this person. And the answer is one. It comes down to the divinity in you. So is what I'm saying, that when you're chosen, you're different. You're on a different frequency. You're spiritually. And I'm not saying these things, ego and all that. This is not about the ego, okay? Because you see, sometimes when you start talking about spiritual things, they hit different for some people. And now they can think it's all about the ego and everything because that's what they're used to. It's not about the ego. A chosen one will finally understand who they are. They don't need introduction, okay? A chosen person does not need introduction. They will just walk in and it will just happen naturally. Because these people, they are moving in their true authentic nature. Not in a sense that they don't have their flaws or they don't do mistakes, no. But they are as authentic as they can be. So they do not need validation. Sometimes you find a work environment where you see people, everybody is trying to kiss the boss's feet. Oh, the boss is coming. Everybody tries to is panicking and everybody is moving in circles. There's nothing, there's no need for validation. You're just going to show up and do your job and go home. So you're not seeking attention. You do not seek attention. The attention will find you. Okay? So that is how you understand that the energy of a chosen person is different. So it is what makes everybody else try to get very deep into your business because they are trying to understand what you're all about. Okay? Are you guys following my chosen ones? Because if you can explain to me, how do you start following up a person that doesn't even own a car? How do you follow an individual who doesn't even drive a car? And you're going to see these cars everywhere, they're showing up and this, and everybody is just trying to get into your business. It's for a reason. Because you see, people are afraid about the things they do not understand. It's curiosity. Crazy curiosity, because they are trying to figure you out. But the more they try to figure you out, the more they understand they cannot really figure you out. So it is like a cycle. And those people get trapped in an obsession. It becomes a very big obsession because the more they try, the more they figure out they haven't even started. So they go back to try again. They go back to the drawing board. They come back to try again. They haven't even started. They go back to the drawing board. So they are now trapped in a loop of just trying to figure you out, showing up, doing everything it can to get every information they can get from you. But you see, the thing is, they cannot fully understand the divinity in you. In some case scenarios, you might even see some people go and they're going to consult with these people. What do they call those witches? The warlocks, those fortune tellers and whatever, the psychics. Hey, we need to know that person. So can you tell us? Can you tell about what's going on? What do you see? Only for them to confirm the reason why they shouldn't even sneak around in the first place. You know? And the more they try to get, the more revelations they may get sometimes, is the more shocking it will be for them. The more revelation, the more shocking. So they are digging a rabbit hole, but they're not ready to realize the truth or to digest that truth, because they may sometimes find out, okay, so this is what is going on, but they cannot understand. They keep on digging for the truth they cannot fully understand. And I can surprise you, my chosen ones. Those guys that have been following you for a very long time, you know? Because now you start to understand that this whole thing is spiritual warfare. So now you're starting to figure out, okay, so where did this whole thing start? You're going out there to do your own research, and you're now realizing that this whole thing has started so many years ago, ever since you was a kid. And you feel like there's these funny, strange forces that have been following you around. It's like you're seeing the patterns, you're seeing the cycles, and you're like, okay, so this has been exactly what has been happening. So the only difference is that when you do wake up, it becomes very clear and visible because now your eyes are open. But before it was like behind the scenes, but this time it is very visible, it is very clear who is following you, what are they doing, and you understand what do they want. So it is not the same energy like back in the days when you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. Now you can see it clearly, you understand what it is. Are you following? A lot of times when you're living under an illusion, people is comfortable with you. As long as you are not asking anything, you are just doing the normal things, you are flowing along with everybody, you don't ask the questions. Everybody is, okay, let him go. But the moment you start to question everything, that is when they're like, okay, so it looks like they're asking the questions now. So because now you're catching up on the whole game. It's the same thing that has been going on for this whole time you have been dealing with narcissism. Is what I've told you guys, this whole narcissism thing is spiritual. Okay? It's all a spiritual illness. You start to realize that it's all spiritual. You realize that it's all spiritual. And when you realize that it's all spiritual, you start to understand why have you been attracting these people, one after the other one. And the cycle has been continuing until the moment you woke up. But remember that every time that you was almost waking up, you was almost snapping out of it, they would come back and put you back to sleep. I have personally seen in real time a narcissist that has been trying to put me back to sleep because they realized that there's things that I knew, I could see. No, that one is like this, or this one is like that. They was trying to make sure that I go back to sleep. And I was like, no, you're wasting your time. I'm not going back to sleep. You know? So the cycle you've been experiencing, my chosen ones, about your life, it has always been about who you are from a spiritual perspective. It has never been about clothes you wear, the people you date, or the houses you live, or the jobs you do. No, nothing like that. But for as long as you could play small, because the whole entire project was to keep you playing small. Keeping a little bubble where they could, stay there. You cannot remember, you cannot see anything, you cannot understand what it is. So they put a veil over your head, over your face. And we all understand that when there's a veil over your head, you do not understand what is going on. That is exactly what has been happening, my chosen ones. The people that have been running after you, it is the divinity in you that they was concerned about. You know, not everybody is divine, because now we wake up and we start to see these energy vampires everywhere. You know, and all those people that are doing all these funny things to, against different individuals. Now you start to see how wicked the whole entire world has always been. So you understand that there's not everybody is divine. You know, some people are just the way it is, just the way they are. You know, some people are divine and some are not. And again, when I'm talking about these things, again, it's very, very important to quote me, ladies and gentlemen. I do not say you're perfect, but there's an energy around you, in you, inside of you. There's a spirit within you. You know, we've been talking about destiny swap. Why would somebody want to swap destinies with an energy vampire? I can give you a real case scenario to look at. Why would a person want to swap destinies with the energy vampire? What is there to swap? So they only swap destinies with people they know they have got that energy around them. They are tapped in. You know? Because you see people moving around up and down. A lot of people that already sold their souls. They don't have a soul. You will see people moving around, and many of them don't even realize that they do not have a soul. They are walking dead. You know? Why would the person try to swap destinies with a zombie? A person without a soul, why would somebody want to swap destinies with them? Why did the narcissists, why have they been targeting you ever since you was a kid, all along? Why have they been after you? It's because you have a soul. We all know that these narcissists don't have a soul. So the real battle we've been fighting, my chosen ones, has always been spiritual in nature. It is now that you're starting to understand and to wake up, to really figure out what has been happening. It has always been spiritual, my chosen ones. You know? But all in all, it has always been the divinity in you. Your life has always been the way it has been because of the divinity that you carry inside of you. So yes, gang stalking, yes. Jealousy, yes. Hatred, yes. Cheating, yes. This and this, yes. All this garbage you can think about could be dumped towards you only for one thing, because of the divinity that you had within you. There was nothing else. That's all it was. So the secret is to realize who you are. Because when you do realize and understand who you are, then you also understand how to move. You know? Because you no longer see people the same way that you used to see them back in the days. You're moving different because now you understand the difference between many people, different types of individuals. You see who is who and what are they up to and what do they want. You do not explain, you just walk away. Okay? Sometimes you run into people and there's something was going on in their lives. Maybe they were struggling with something. And then you run into these people and something started taking off. For some reason, maybe there was a job promotion, maybe it was increase in their sales. Maybe it can be anything. But there is something that shifted the moment you showed up. Maybe you walked into a shop and the owners was just there sitting. There was no sales. They were just waiting for the next customer. You walked in, and it's like 20 other people walked in behind you, and it appears as if they just came out of the blue. 20 other people flocked into the shop out of the blue, and you do not understand where they came from. It's the divinity in you. So it's the reason why you hear people telling you protect your energy, because now you understand who you are. You understand what is going on, what the people wanted from you, why have they always been after you. Now you start to protect yourself a little bit more, because you understand the world from a spiritual perspective. It's how it works, my chosen ones. So let us know here if the video resonates. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Denzo was signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.